All right, it is 9 a.m. and we'll call this meeting to order. Becky, if you'd everybody shut off your cell phones. Becky, will you do roll call, please?
I sure will. Jack Scrogstead, Dean Friel,
Here.
Katie White,
Here.
Ron Gascoigne,
Here.
Reed Acree,
Here.
and Allie Huss is on Zoom.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, is there anyone that's not a board member or department head would like to speak? Looks like no, so we'll move on. If there are no changes or corrections to the minutes from April 9th, they will stand as presented. Does anybody have any corrections or changes? All right, those will stand. Transportation, Dave Anderson is not able to attend this morning's meeting, but has submitted a report from the Highway Department and is requesting a motion from the committee to approve the bid letting results from May 13th. So if I can get a motion to award the bids received on May 13th, 2024, which have been presented to the committee, subject to the Highway Commissioner concurrence as applicable and IDOT review. So moved. Second. Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it. No solid waste management today. The assessor's office. Jennifer, do you like to walk the committee through your report and 4 action items, please?
Good morning. I was wondering if it's okay we go ahead and let Sammy do his GIS report since I have quite a few things on my list today. Is that all right?
Sure, that's fine.
Okay.
Thank you, Jennifer. Good morning, everybody. In the GS department, Logan and I have been working on the following tasks. We've been working on processing parcel splits and combination requests for March 2024 and updating land use, zoning, and other GS layers, including the 911 and NG 911 layers. We've been working also on mapping field inspection photos and creating web maps for quadrennial reassessment. Also, we have conducted site visits and virtual meetings for broadband breakthrough project. That's all what we have. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Nope, I do not. Thank you.
Very short. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning again. Just to follow up on Sammy's GIS report, he said that he's working on mapping and field inspection photos and creating web apps for the quadrennial reassessment. So that is working with our office. Him and Logan have been working very hard to help us update how we process our mass amounts of pictures and how they are labeled to take less time, maybe taking less time with actual labeling by being able to put them on a layer on our GIS site, our internal GIS site for processing purposes. So that has been really exciting for us to work through the kinks in that and figure out a way that instead of having the pictures saved in a folder like you typically would, you know, on a computer, we can have the pictures right on a map layer for us and spend less time labeling them, so less chance of manual error that way also. So just from the assessment side, I'm excited about that part, working with Sammy. But for my monthly report for what's going on in our office, we sent out our homestead exemption renewal forms April 12th. And so we've been having a steady flow of traffic coming in, turning in their exemption forms. The due date for the exemptions are December 31st, except for our leasehold applications has a deadline of July 1st. So those leasehold applications, people will be coming in a flurry in the next month, probably here to get done. The assessment office has recently posted a job listing for a full-time clerical position. This was a position that was formerly a 32-hour week part-time position. And we had a lot of turnover in the last couple of years where we replaced our 2 full-time positions first and kind of put that part-time position on hold. So this last budget year, I did ask for that part-time position to be from 32 hours a week to be bumped up to the 37.5 hours for full-time because of the increased flow of township assessment work that we're doing in the office, increase of the commercial building, with Gateway project and things like that on the south side of town. So, that we are, going to start interviewing for that position in the next couple of weeks. We have a Board of Review opening meeting scheduled for June 13th. Jim Smith, who's been a longtime member after 27 years, is retiring from the Board of Review. So we are looking for a new Board of Review candidate. We'll have our quorum for our opening meeting in June with just 2 people. But we would need to find a new Board of Review person, and I've been talking to a few people, but we need to get that replaced by this fall when we start doing our Board of Review season. And then I get to basically the things that I have board action requests for. The first one that I'll talk about is the Farmland Assessment Review Committee. They will also be meeting, they meet one time annually, and they'll be meeting in June. It's a 2-year term, and we have Judy Truckenbrod and Jim Sheeline, I'm sorry, up for reappointment for the Farmland Assessment Committee. And so I have a resolution to reappoint both of those members. Did you want to do that, discuss that now before I move on to my next thing, or? No, okay. So that was the easy one, is that reappointment. The next thing that I have on my report is an intergovernmental agreement update to the city of Dixon, with the city of Dixon. We've had an agreement with them for several years to host their GIS services, and that contract has not been updated since the beginning of that. So what I'm doing now is I've updated the agreement to include language to increase the overall annual fees right now that are at $25,000 to $28,000, because there hasn't been any change since 2018, I believe. And then going forward, the agreement will automatically renew on an annual basis. So it will automatically renew with a 3% increase on an annual basis. So that's how we've been doing our township assessment work agreements, and it's been working out really well. Then we spend less time renegotiating each year. Every few years, it's just built right in, and we don't have to worry about not keeping up with the fee increases. So that's the big change with that agreement. It's already been reviewed by the city of Dixon's legal team and reviewed with the state's attorney on our side. So I'm just asking for to have that agreement be the new agreement be approved. Are there any questions on that?
I mean, with the rates, I mean, is that fairly reasonable, logical type of thing?
I think it will keep up with, the interest rates. I think it'll keep up with the increasing costs. There is language in there that if you want to make a change to the agreement, that you can do that within 90 days, I believe, of the renewal term. So it won't be like we're locked in there forever. We'll always be able to come back and readdress it if need be. But without any large changes, I don't think it should have to be readdressed for several years with that automatically increasing.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. The last thing I have is just a resolution that we're asking for the county to pass a resolution supporting House Bill 4512. And that is a current law that requires counties to post a list of property assessment for parcels in their general reassessment year in their local newspaper. In between general reassessment years, counties are mandated to publish a list of property assessments that have been changed during the current tax year. House Bill 4512 is proposed to amend the law to allow county governments publish mandated property assessments by either county website or local newspaper. So if we were allowed to publish by county website instead of the local newspaper, that would save us thousands each year, depending on the quadrennial reassessment year. And I believe that it would actually be more beneficial for users to be able to see that newspaper, or see that website. It's not just the newspaper that has the parcel number, the name, and the amount. That gets very confusing for people. We have people come in all the time and they're looking at their name, but somebody else's assessed value. It doesn't show you how much you've increased or decreased in that publication, but we can get everything on our website that will give them that information and more in a more user-friendly way. In my resolution that I'm proposing, you'll see that the cost of publication over the past 4 general reassessment years has been $6,000 to $13,500 for the average cost per year, with the average cost per year being about $9,000 if you average that out over the 4-year quadrennial reassessment year. So if this bill were to get passed, we would be putting $9,000 approximately a year back into the county's bucket to spend for more beneficial ways for the taxpayers, I believe. So I'm asking to have that resolution be passed for support.
Okay, does anybody have any questions for her? Oop,
Jennifer,
Tom.
the contract you're referencing with the city,
Yes,
has the state's attorney looked at that?
yes.
Okay.
So the state's attorney had looked at it originally when it went into effect, I believe. It's been in effect longer than I've been in this SOA office or position, but it has been reviewed by our state's attorney and the city for these updates. So
Okay,
both the city's going to their council this month also, and I'm bringing it to our board for final approval.
that's fine. I just like to make sure our state's attorney's involved.
Yep,
Okay, thank you.
absolutely. Thank you.
Just one question on, just using the website versus the newspaper. I was just kind of curious. Seems like, the newspaper is kind of a good influencer, if they know that. Do you think it'd be a case where we may end up with more people not paying their taxes if they know they aren't going to be in the paper? Or isn't that a concern, do you think? What do you guys think? And what do you think?
So what we publish is the actual assessment value each year. I don't know if
Oh.
you're thinking of like tax
Oh,
sales.
I am. I'm
Okay,
thinking of
okay,
like
yeah.
the
That's,
ones that
yeah,
are.
that wouldn't be affected by
Delayed
this
then.
House bill.
Okay.
We're only talking about like annually, we have to publish any assessment changes. And we have to publish whichever, because we have our county broke up into quadrennials, so we're not doing the entire county at once. So every year we have a quarter of the county approximately that we have to publish every one of those assessments. So.
Okay, I misunderstood
Yep,
then.
yep,
So no,
absolutely.
that makes sense then.
Okay, I just wanted, that's good. I wanted to clarify that. Okay.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions on that?
I just have one question that's been brought up to me in the past, and usually it's the elderly who have no access to computers. I'm getting information, and I know how this affects if we go to no paper, basically, they won't have access. I guess my question, so I have a way to answer to them, is that if they have a request for like some information, can they contact your office?
Absolutely, absolutely. And it may be something where we publish a notice that says new assessments are available online, check online or call the assessment office. So yeah, we definitely want to make sure that we're not cutting out that portion of the community.
Okay, especially where a lot of times in the newspaper it says notices, like you said, are going out.
Mhm.
So people can refer to that. Okay.
Right, right. I would still want to make sure that that is something going out, that we're getting the word out, but all of the actual detailed information. There's pages and pages of those notices. I'm sure you guys have seen those before, and they're in alphabetical order, but the parcel number, I believe, is first. So you look for your name and you read left to right. So you go and then you're looking at the wrong assessment anyway. So I think that it would be better for transparency if they were using the website publications and able to look up the assessment information. And they can do that by typing in an address for anyone they want to check, because I know a lot of people like to look in the paper and see other names and what they're assessed at. They can still check everyone's. It's public knowledge.
Some of this too are people who are either disabled or can't, haven't got access to get out of their homes to even go like to the library.
Right, right.
Or any
And
other facility. So I guess what I'm thinking is I want to see something that's at least they have a chance to receive the information, than just. figure they gotta
Absolutely.
Go online and they're not. capable
they're
of
still going to be getting mailed those change of assessment notices. Those change of assessment notices have to get mailed to the homes individually. It's just the actual list in the paper that wouldn't be, the entire list wouldn't be showing up in the paper, but there would still be, anytime anyone has a question, they can call our office and we can mail them or tell them verbally the information they're looking for.
Thank you.
I guess that was a point that I didn't really make, that those change of assessment notices would still be getting mailed out for the quadrennial reassessment year and for any changes during the year that happened to your assessed value. We would still be mailing them out.
Question, thank you. I'm the IT person. I love IT stuff, IT solutions and the like, but what's the change? Is it only going to publish the changed assessed values?
We do publish a list of the change of assessments. And I don't think that we would necessarily publish the actual change of assessment notices, but they would be available. All of the information, as you well know, is available on the website as far as your assessed value, your previous assessed value, and things like that. So
I guess the question is, any list that would be published, was that publish all the assessed values or just the ones that have just changed?
we would still publish like our quadrennial reassessment, our yearly reassessment list.
The full list?
Yes, yes.
Okay, all right.
But not everybody's assessment in a list, because everybody can look up their own assessment or call in for their own assessment, but it's just the changes that we're statutorily required to report yearly.
Okay, and do you have any provision, just like mentioning, for people who either don't have or choose not to access things online that would want a complete copy of the assessment list? You're making provisions for that?
I'm sure that could be done, yes. There would be a complete publication list, and if it needed to be printed out for someone, it could be, or if they needed to come into the office or whatever to talk to us, right?
Okay, yeah, thank you.
And again, this is just a resolution supporting the bill. This isn't the county saying, yes, we're going to start doing this right away. We're just supporting this bill. And you can find in the report that I submitted, you can find the actual House bill. Also, there is support by the Illinois State Association of Counties. There's a position statement there with their support. So I encourage you to go and look at my documents submitted online or on our onboarding.
Okay, anything else? Any more questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, is there a motion to move the updated intergovernmental agent agreement between Lee County and the city of Dixon to the executive committee for inclusion on the May County Board agenda? Motion second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Sorry.
I was, and then Ron.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, now I need a motion to move the resolution in support of House Bill 4512 to the executive committee for the inclusion on the May County Board agenda.
So moved.
Second? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it. The next is Is there a motion to move the resolution to reappoint Judy Truckenbrod to the Farmland Assessment Review Committee to the Executive Committee for inclusion on the May County Board agenda?
So move.
Moved, seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. Is there a motion to move the resolution to reappoint James D. Sheeline to the Farmland Assessment Review Committee to the Executive Committee for inclusion on the May County Board agenda? Motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. Next we'll go to the county administrator. Jeremy, do you have anything you'd like to share with the committee?
Yeah, we'll just do a quick broadband breakthrough update. Just so everybody's aware, we are still collecting surveys through May 20th. And on May 20th, the U of I extension, who's actually doing the surveys for us on the back end, will be tabulating all the data. We'll be receiving that. We could still get surveys after that, but that's the data that we're going to use for any BEAD funding moving into the future, because there's another round that's coming up. Hopefully we'll try to access in the fall, and that's some of the state infrastructure, for broadband funding. Currently we have 479 survey results, which actually our goal was 400, so we're over that, but I'd like to see it clear over 5 now, so we still have a few days for that. 413 has come in from residential, homes throughout the county. 40 from different businesses, 50 from farms and ag. So that's great because a lot of this is pushed towards that. And then 11 from community buildings and centers throughout the county as well. So I'd love to see about another 20 come in. Keep telling your friends, family, and neighbors to go ahead and go to our county website, click on the big banner that's on the front page and take a survey for us. It only takes a few minutes. And we would appreciate that. With that, we are starting to contact different internet service providers throughout the county that are either doing work within the county or work around the county. Paul Gorski, our IT director, is actually going to be doing the first contact with a list that our committee has created. And then we'll be sending out requests for information essentially to see what their expansion proposal plans are throughout the county and if they're going to be trying to access some of that public funding as well. So we could partner with them on if it's a good plan. So continuing to move forward with that. I think we have about 3 or 4 weeks left in our actual breakthrough initiative group throughout the state. There's 6 counties that are involved. But so far we're on schedule and feeling pretty good about where we're at. Any questions about any of the broadband initiative? No? Reed, didn't you have a blast with us when we were out there?
Had a blast.
How was your service?
It's okay. Always a room for improvement.
That's right. That's the thing. Even if you have service or you have what you think you have good service or you don't know any different, the survey results are really going to help us out because that's where we could identify what we would consider some underserved areas. Some folks that I didn't know that I had slow internet. Well,
Yeah.
You do. So let's figure out how we can get you better service.
We did find out how we didn't know how bad our service was, and it is pretty bad when you see the numbers.
Right. Right. The good thing about the survey is there's a speed test that's involved with that, so you actually get to see how what your internet service speeds upload and download speeds are. And some folks might not know what those numbers mean, but typically, you're considered underserved if you're under 25 megabits now, for upload speeds. Is that correct? 25 megs? 25, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Any questions? Allie, did you want to comment on that? I see you're on. Allie's been, a great resource and advocate on the focus group as well.
It's been a good project. It's been a lot of learning and understanding where the county is at and what the need is. And there's a big need. So it's been good.
Any questions for us on that project? Just figured that'd be the best thing to talk about for county services.
All right, anything else?
No, sir.
Okay. Nancy Peterson is not able to attend this morning's meeting, but submitted a detailed report that was attached to the agenda and included in onboard. So we'll move on to Paul Gorski in the IT department.
Good morning.
Morning.
I want to like to welcome Travis Null to the IT department. He's filling a recent vacancy in my department, and he comes to us for a brief internship from Best Inc. And spread the word to your friends and family. Best Inc. They're a really good source for interns and the like in the county government and in local business. And I also like to congratulate Jonathan Henriksen, who's been with the county 3.5 years, but he came to us through Best after 6 months. So his 3-year anniversary is right about now. So I'd like to congratulate Jonathan. He's been a real asset to the department and to the county. So just to remind the board members, the IT department consists of myself, Jonathan, and Travis Null, new hire. And then we partner with Syndio out of St. Charles for server support and maintenance on many of our servers in the county, and partner with the state and a firm that works through the state, CrowdStrike, for cybersecurity solutions. And Mike McBride, 911, assist with the support and maintenance of certain mobile devices, tablets, and the like that house or that our staff, especially in the LEC or in jail, use for the 911 related systems. So that kind of consists of the key consortium of people that we use for IT, where there's a bunch of other vendors and the like. But and going forward, we're continuing to tie up some loose ends on improving the cellular service for the new FirstNet service out at the jail, along with making some tweaks to the Wi-Fi and the network out there to better support the transmission of the new videos coming off the body cams. And once we wrap that up, hopefully then we'll be ready to support the new courtroom and some of the new technology build outs in new courts. And following that, we have some other server upgrades and the like that we plan on doing that don't require any additional funding requests. But going forward, just as we talked about broadband, kind of the rates that they consider what is a fast internet, data usage in the county is changed dramatically. It used to be a lot of word processing files, spreadsheets and the like, but more and more it's imaging and or videos coming through our law enforcement or the state's attorney's office, public defender and the like. So don't be surprised that if next year, the year after, and like there'll be capital requests for either on-premise or in-cloud data storage solutions for this increased data needs. Don't have any figures for you now, but I'm just asking you to put it on your radar, and don't be shocked if you come back and go, oh, just because the nature of the data that the county manages has changed and is getting bigger. So, and going forward, that pretty much keeps us busy through the end of the summer. Does anyone have any questions on other projects or staffing or goals? Oh. All right. Well, then I'm going to go off to the LEC and try to fix the FirstNet cellular service. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Greg Gates, would you like to share your report with the committee?
Yes, I'll hit some highlights. The continuing ridership data, rolling 3 months of information for February 1st through April 30th. You can see we did have an uptick between March and April of nearly 2,000 rides. 9,063 rides provided in April, 2,866 hours of service, 78,000 miles of service. And actually fuel cost went down for that 3-month rolling period of data. Over 24,000 rides provided in the 2-county area. Other updates from Lots/Reagan Mass Transit District, the transition to RMTD will be finalized with the closing with Lee County on June 28th. And RMTD will be live as of July 1st of this year. Other pieces currently underway. This is contract application season with IDOT. So we're finalizing contract applications for IDOT or with IDOT for the next fiscal year, July 1 through June 30. And then work is continuing with Winnebago County Transit Services, rolling that out by the estimated or anticipated timeframe of July 1st. And then we're also working with or continuing to work with RLS and Associates on the feasibility studies for both Dixon and Rochelle in terms of looking at whether or not it's feasible to construct fixed routes for both of those communities. The Technical Assistance Committee meetings for both of those communities will be meeting virtually tomorrow at 10:30 and 11:30 to go over some initial thoughts on what a fixed route in Dixon and a fixed route in Rochelle would look like. And I think, as I've said previously, the studies will obviously be running concurrently, and they will wrap up with final reports likely due out by August and or September of this year. And unless there's any questions, that's my report.
Anybody have any questions? All right, thank you. ROE, Chris Tennyson.
Good morning and thank you. We have a rather lengthy report this month. I know it was 20+ pages, so I trust everyone to look through it and kind of keep up to date on the things, many things we have going on through our office, but I did want to hit a couple highlights. We are wrapping up compliance with our districts. That's what that first paragraph is about. I get asked all the time, how are districts held accountable for following the numerous curriculum issues that they need to cover, state laws, inspection laws. Well, that is one thing that our office is responsible for. And every 4 years, our public school districts and a number of our private school districts that want state recognition also go through that process with us. So it's a lengthy process where the district has to upload proof of all of those things into our computer system. And then we go and meet with the districts and go over everything that they've uploaded and make sure that everything's complete before we send it to the state. So we are finished with Sterling this year and with Kings. We just finished Creston yesterday, and we also completed St. Anne's and Dixon. They were our one non-public up this year, and we will be working with Eswood next week, and we'll be all caught up on that. So the nice thing about the new computer system that we have, I was told by some of the older regional soups back in the day, it was like a 4-day process that we'd have to go on site and go through all their files and all their paperwork. Well, now with this new computer system, once things are uploaded and into the system, it stays there year to year. So it'll be nice for our districts now. Every 4 years, they'll just have to do updates to any laws that changed or anything that we need to update for them. So we're glad about that process. I did want to highlight, we had our education pathway big event out at Sauk Valley Community College this month. It was exciting to see 8 more students from the area earn their education pathway endorsement at graduation. They've done a number of things during their time in high school to earn that endorsement in that education pathway and get them a start on being a teacher. I did want to, there was one Amboy senior, Elizabeth Clarita, that was at the event that walked across the Sauk Valley community stage. She did get her certificate, and she said receiving my education pathways endorsement was an incredibly rewarding experience. Through this journey, I created a science club, worked with my classmates, was able to do some student teaching in the classroom, and it solidified my path towards becoming a teacher. I'm very proud of this achievement and highly recommended the program to any inspiring educators. So our office is excited that we've continued to grow that program, and with our teacher shortage, trying to get more and more young people involved and coming into our profession is very important to us. Our stats in there are updated for Nexus and for our tenant support programs. You can certainly go ahead and look at those. It was nice. Our Parents as Teachers first year program this year was able to get out with their parents that have young children to do a couple field trips. They went to the fire stations in Oregon and Rochelle and had a great day there. And you can see some pictures of those events in our reports. And our education outreach program is winding down for another year. It's been an amazing year. Rhiannon picked right up where Beth left off and has done an amazing job with getting a number of graduates. And we'll be hosting our annual graduation ceremony. We're going to do it at our new office this year on June 7th. So we have the room now at our beautiful new facility. So students will not only receive recognition and praise for earning their high school diploma, but we'll also have the opportunity to invite family and friends to experience this with them. So that'll be our big graduation ceremony for the students that have earned recognition or earned their diploma throughout the year. And then the second report that's attached, I continue to do quarterly reports. I know I'm by statute supposed to come and do one big annual report for all the county boards, but there's just way too much going on, and that report would take way too long. So I like doing these monthly updates, and I'll continue to give the board our quarterly figures on a 3-month increment. And then as obviously, if you're looking through those reports and you have any questions about any of the numbers in them, please let me know.
Okay, any questions? Thank you, sir. All right, no report for Veterans Assistance. Now we'll go to zoning and planning. Alice, you'd like to share your report? Thank you.
Good morning. My report is also a little bit lengthy, so I please ask you to bear with me. Starting with the petitions coming from the Zoning Board of Appeals. Petition number 24P 1623 by Irish Ice Farm, also known as Woosung Solar, did receive a unanimous recommendation to approve from the ZBA. Petition number 24P 1624 by Humphrey. This is for skilled trades. This was also recommended unanimously by the ZBA. They did put a couple of conditions on this as well. Actions going to the Zoning Board of Appeals. We have petition number 24P 1625 by Amoresco Lee County RNG LLC. This is for a private pipeline that will run from the biogas facility located on Corregidor Road. It will run north. We're still waiting on the application for the specific route of the pipeline. Petition 24P 1626 by Doty. This is seeking a variance from a rear and side yard setback for the construction of an accessory structure. There is nothing coming from Planning Commission. They're going to the Planning Commission. We have petition number 24P C 76. This is a petition for text amendment for chapter or title 11 subdivision flood control and stormwater management, chapter 3 flood control of the Lee County Code of Ordinances. These changes are to help bring us into compliance with what is required by the National Flood Insurance Program. Other actions from the zoning office, and this is where it gets a little bit lengthy, but I feel for the sake of transparency that this is information that you guys should know. Enforcement of the Lee County revised zoning ordinance is a major function of the zoning department. We have spent the last several months developing processes for addressing potential violations. When the zoning department is made aware of a possible zoning violation, we investigate by driving by the property and/or sending out a generic letter to the property owner of record, informing them of a possible zoning violation and requesting they contact the zoning department within 7 days of the date of the initial letter. I have included a sample of what this letter looks like. It's very generic. There's nothing threatening about it. It's just letting them know that there might be a possible problem and we are investigating. If the property owner of record does not contact the zoning department, then a determination of violation will be made without a statement from the owner. If the owner does respond, the zoning department will ask them questions to determine if the possible violation is in fact a violation. If no violation is determined, then the process ends. If a violation is determined to be present, then a notice of violation will issue to the property owner of record with instructions for remediating the violation and fines being applied as a result of the violation and instructions on how to appeal the determination. A sample of this notice of zoning violation is also attached. The process is similar for the junk and abandoned vehicle program. This program is a joint effort between the zoning department and the sheriff's department. This process is initiated by the zoning department. Jared Yater, who is a subcontractor for my office and for the assessment office, is deployed to the location of possible junk or abandoned vehicles where he takes photographs from the roadway that are provided to the zoning department. The zoning department then sends the letter to the property owner of record, asking them to remove the junk or abandoned vehicles from their property within 7 days of the date of the initial contact. They may also contact Jared to establish a plan for removing of vehicles, or if they need to extend their timeline. The 7 days is just to get them to contact us. We are more than willing to work with them and give them the time they need to get the cars removed from the property. I've also included a sample of this letter in the packet as well. If you, as a county board member, receive calls from constituents that are upset about receiving a letter, please reach out to the zoning office to discuss why the letter was sent and what actions we are seeking. You may be able to assist us in working with the property owner to remediate the violations. I would also like to address the issue of shipping containers in Lee County. Under the current revised zoning ordinance, a shipping container would fall under the category of inventory and material storage outdoors, which is an accessory use that requires a special use permit in ag, commercial, and industrial districts. This means that in order to place a shipping container on a property in any of these districts, there must be an established principal use on the property, and the owner must petition the county for a special use. Inventory and material storage outdoors is not allowed in any residential district. Shipping containers can also be a temporary use in Lee County, which will require a temporary use permit. This would allow the container to stay on the property for 90 days without having to obtain a special use permit. Conditions for the container can be included in the temporary use permit. More often than not, the county is seeing that shipping containers are being used as accessory structures for storage. Many people believe that this is a zoning and tax loophole because the container is not a building and not affixed to the property. This is a misconception because the term development does not require that the structure be affixed to the property, nor do the tax laws. Therefore, it is my position that if a property owner wishes to use a shipping container as an accessory structure, they will need to obtain a building permit, comply with the bulk regulations for the district, and be subject to taxation should the chief county assessment officer choose to do so. I don't believe they are being assessed at this time. The zoning department is contemplating further regulations regarding shipping containers, including setback to neighboring residences and a limitation on the number allowed per parcel. Finally, during the month of April, the zoning office processed 58 building permits. Permit fees in the amount of $6,904.15 were collected. That concludes my report unless there's any questions.
Any questions?
Laura also has a report.
Okay, sure.
Good morning. I was asked for a update on the floodplain. As of today, we have cleared 5 of the state violations. I have gathered information for 5 more of them that are waiting at the state for review. We all know how quickly that happens. 2 are waiting on state permits. 1 we have in a correction plan, and we are finalizing another correction plan. And 1 we are meeting this week with the property owner, their attorney, and the state's attorney to try to move forward on that. I'm hoping to have more progress by next month. Our entry into the CRS program is going to be largely based on the resolution of these violations. As far as CRS going, I am working on building a base for points for when we enter, so we can enter at a higher level. I've started doing public outreach for floodplain education. I've just put together a PowerPoint with an overview on the rules and regulations. I did present it at the Dixon Township meeting on the 8th. I was at the Rotary meeting yesterday, and I will be at the Nelson Township meeting on June 12th to present as well. I am trying to get more, have a chance to talk to more people to really get the word out. There's a lot in there that we all know has not really been enforced or talked about. And I really want to get the word out there to people. If you have anything, any places you could suggest or help me get into HOA meetings. I'm working on a couple neighborhood meetings in people's garages, just getting any way to get people together to share the information. We're working on a newsletter to send out to the residents of the floodplain to also give this overview. I'm hoping that'll spark some conversations to help people. Also working on setting up presentations with real estate offices to also, because that's going to be kind of like the first line also in educating people before they purchase a floodplain property as to what to expect. All those are CRS activities. However, there is a snag with CRS. The contract with FEMA that was awarded to the ISO to manage the program has been challenged by the other company that bid on it. So during this time of dispute, nothing is happening with CRS until it is resolved. There is an October entry window that probably will be eliminated because this will cause, of course, a backlog with current CRS. It's uncertain whether they'll open up another entry later in the year or if they're just going to hold off until the next entry window of next April. Oof. But I am going to continue to do the activities and bank the points for whenever it does open up that we can work on the violations. Lastly, I'm very excited. I applied for and won a full scholarship for the ASFPM National Conference in Salt Lake City, June 24 to 28. There's going to be a lot of really good education there, networking, the trade show, really get caught up on everything current. The thing I'm most excited about is that there's a multi-day in-depth course on available FEMA mitigation grants. I know that's weird, but my inner flood nerd's very excited. So I do look forward in July of giving you guys a report on what's all new and fun in the floodplain. So any questions or thoughts?
Anybody have any questions? All right, thank you. So now let's move on to petition number 24P1625 by Maresco Lee County RNG LLC. The petition includes the PIN numbers and is attached to the agenda and in on board. Parcels are zoned Ag 1 Rural Agricultural District and are located in Marion, South Dixon Townships. Petitioner is seeking a special use permit for the purpose of constructing and operating a private pipeline. Can I get a motion to move this to the executive committee for inclusion on the May County Board agenda? So moved. Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Ayes have it. Next is petition number 24P1626 by Michael and Tammy Dowdy regarding PIN 160706200012, commonly known as 88 Palmyra Road, Sterling, Illinois, located in Palmyra Township. Parcel is zoned Ag 1. Rural Agricultural District. Petitioners are seeking a variance from Title 10, Chapter 9, Section 3, bulk regulations, specifically side rear yard setback for the purpose of constructing an accessory structure. I get a motion for that. So moved and a second. Got a second? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Okay, C, petitions coming from the Zoning Board of Appeals with resolutions. Petition number 24P1623 by petitioner Irish Eyes Farms LLC regarding pins 160113 100-001 and 160114 200-003 located in Palmyra Township. Parcel is currently zoned Ag 1. Petitioner is requesting a special use permit for the purpose of a 5 megawatt commercial solar energy facility. If I can get a motion to move that to the executive committee.
So moved.
So moved. Second. Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it. Next one is, petition number 24P1624 by Richard Humphrey Jr. and Brenda Humphrey regarding the part of pin number 180813-100-006 located in South Dixon Township. Parcel is currently zoned Ag 1 Rural Agricultural District. Petitioner is requesting an accessory special use permit for the purpose of skilled trades, off-site services only, parking of refuse, trucks, and equipment. Resolution for petition 24P1624. I get a motion to move this to the executive committee. So moved. Second. Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it. There's a petition going to the Planning Commission. Petition number 24PC76 by Lee County Zoning Office. A petition to amend the text of Title 11 Subdivision Flood Control and Stormwater Management. Chapter 3 Flood Control of the Lee County Code of Ordinances. The proposed text amendment, if approved, will update the existing codes so that it is compatible with the requirements of the National Flood Insurance Program. Can I get a motion to move that?
So move.
And a second. Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. No petitions coming from Planning Commission. Unfinished business, we have none. No new business. Nothing for executive session. Can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So move.
So move, so second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it.